because we understand that we're poor in spirit and because of the mourning. And that then led us to the set, blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. And those set of Beatitudes were a set that dealt with the individual dysfunction and or the necessity for God, the need for God. And then once one gets to God now, we can now have actions. So one speaks of our needing God vertically, and the other one now leads us to our horizontal actions towards others. And so we talked about blessed are those who are merciful, for they shall receive mercy. And we understood now, because of our understanding of being poor in spirit, it ought to really challenge how we interact with others. Meaning, I ought to deal with people as merciful as Christ has dealt with me. And for one of my things that I am so thankful to the Lord for is because of his tender mercy. If it was not for his tender mercies, not just me, but all of us would be consumed. And then Lisa talked last week about the pure in heart. And to be pure in heart, you had to guard your heart. You had to develop purifying habits. And the third thing about that was look for God. I just want to hit that look for God piece because I thought I liked it and I just wanted to teach it, but I was sick. The looking for God piece is significant because I'm starting to realize that when you're in tune with God, you can find God in the smallest situations. I mean, people are always looking for this big, grandiose move of God. But, you know, sometimes you could be riding in your car and just look at God's handiwork and just feel God's presence. You know what I'm saying? And so as you're intentional in regards to your relationship with God, you'll find out you'll be able to see him in some of the smallest places, smallest interactions, and that's when you know that you're in touch with him. Now, tonight we're almost two left. This is the one to the last, and this is one of the ones that I think are most necessity now as we're dealing with so much warlike situations. And it's this, it's blessed are the peacemakers. And we need people who are peacemakers. Now, it's funny that I'm talking about being a peacemaker because when I was in school, I was anything but a peacemaker. And all of us went to school with somebody who was just simply an agitator. They knew how to get people to fight each other. I remember one of the first fights I got into was because, you know, somebody cracked on me and then the person said, "Ooh, you gonna take that? I wouldn't take that if I was you." And we laugh at that childhood behavior, but the truth and the reality is we still have that behavior as we function as adults. And you have people that know how to cause division and split people up because they are more concerned with being causing the division in relationships with others than becoming harmonious with God. Let me give you an example of the two, and then I'll define it in the Greek. The first person who's a peacemaker is when somebody comes to you with something, you can either be a peacemaker in regards to it, or you can put gasoline on the fire. Have you ever been in that type of situation? And so the problem, especially is with the church, is that many people like to become what I call flamethrowers, meaning that instead of you keeping the peace, instead of you doing the best you can to keep it and be a peacemaker, sometimes we become division casters. Now let's define this. A peacemaker is translated into one who desires harmonious relationships with people, right? That comes from a harmonious relationship with God. Let me say that again. Peacemakers are people who desire to have harmonious relationships with people. And the reason why they desire harmonious relationships with people is because that person who is the peacemaker has a harmonious relationship with God. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And so now, because of them being reconciled with God and having a harmonious relationship with God, they seek to do whatever it takes to have harmonious relationships with people. Now, This word peacemaker, this word maker, is an active verb, meaning it's active, meaning it's done. And it takes, meaning this maker mean it takes the initiative to restore the relationship. It doesn't just sit passively back and wait for the relationship to be restored. No. You know, you ever argue with somebody and you said, listen, I ain't saying I'm sorry. You just kind of wait until time takes place and you hope that time fixes it, because you know nobody wants to humble themselves. And so a lot of times we kind of move on because of time, but we don't really fix it, you see? And so that's not a peacemaker. A peacemaker is that whenever the infraction happens or the disconnect in the relationship occurs, the person, he or she who is the peacemaker says, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get reconciliation between these two injured parties. You see, my grandmama was kind of like that when the family argued. Everybody have the matriarch or patriarch in the family that whenever there's an argument that break out, she's the one, or he or she's the one that's gonna try to sit y'all down, you know, and say, now y'all gonna have to try to get, you know, because all she wants, she don't care who's right or who's wrong. All she wants is two people to be restored in relationship. Now, okay? Now, that's important. That's important because we're living in times where people who used to be tight become hatred toward each other. I just out of fun, I Googled today when I get on these little tinges, I Google, and I just start Googling crimes that happen between families. Just Google it when you ain't got nothing to do. Crimes that happen between families. And then this is this father that just killed all the kids. And it's just, you just see a litany of this, litany. And the problem is, the reason why there's so many families that are even fighting to the point of physical violence is nobody in the family knows how to reconcile when there's a difference. Now, y'all can look at me like I'm the only sinner in here, but I know that there's always a problem in my family somewhere. I mean in my blood family. So that's why sometimes I hate when we all get together, because I know something's gonna break loose. And if you got an agitator or an instigator in that group, they know how to take a small problem like this, and now we outside in the yard fighting like a backroom brawl. Okay, y'all getting real spiritual. I'm gonna get even real with you. Most of my arguments with my wife started with something stupid. You're like stupid. Like, then all of a sudden, don't nobody want to take the load. Y'all quiet. Y'all stop. Now, y'all stop all this spiritual. Then all of a sudden, y'all ain't speaking. You be like, why y'all ain't speaking? You don't even remember, but y'all ain't going to be the first one to apologize. I tell you that. Then y'all walking around, ain't saying nothing to each other, all because y'all forgot to turn the channel at 3 o'clock. Y'all be quiet. There's people in the church. You work together, y'all don't even speak to each other. You don't even know why you don't like each other anymore. You know why? Because we get used to fractures. We get used to dysfunctional relationships. And God says, in God's economy, I do not want my people who have been bought by the same price to have disharmony in their relationships. And in order for that to take place, somebody has to stand up and be the peacemaker. And we need it. I'm telling you, you need some peacemakers. You need some marriages. You need somebody to say, sit down and y'all calm down. Y'all ain't going nowhere. Okay, so that's what we're talking about tonight. Let's get at the word of the Lord. All right, now. Being a peacemaker is not it's not something you do because it's right. It's due because it's God's command. Go to Hebrews 12:14. What's up, Brother Parker? You all right? It ain't start raining out there, did it? Oh, praise the Lord. I ain't trying to be caught in that storm. Hebrews 12, verse 14. Are you there? I don't know why I brought this small print Bible out. All right, here it is. Verse 14. Pursue peace with everyone. You see that? And the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one fails to obtain grace of God. Watch this, that no root of bitterness springs up and cause trouble, and through it many become defiled. Meaning, no. Listen, pursue the peace, whatever. It's a command. Quit letting these arguments fester and not correcting them, and then you wondering why bitterness is springing up in your life. And the reason why bitterness is springing up in your life is because you got so much unforgiveness in your heart, and now it's having physiological implications on your body. Are you with me here tonight? God says, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that if you're going to be a Christian, you've got to seek to have peace and harmony with everybody. Now here's the struggle. I didn't say peace and harmony with people that like you. See, I can do that. I know how to have peace and harmony with people that got peace and harmony with me. But God said, that ain't what I told you to do. I told you that whenever there's a fracture, I don't care if they like you or if they were wrong, it's your responsibility as the mature Christian to try to find some reconciliation. Are you with me here? Y'all quiet tonight, but that makes me feel like working a little bit even more. The problem is we as the church don't know how to forgive nobody. Now here's my problem theologically with that. Here's my problem. The Muslim faith does not begin with forgiveness. The Muslim faith begins with a thought that humanity or the person is inherently good. That's the Muslim faith. That's the Muslim tradition. But Christianity begins with the understanding that humanity is totally depraved. So that means for me and you to be a Christian, the first thing that has to happen is we have to be forgiven. If you're a Christian, lift your hand up tonight. Let me see if you're a Christian. Put your hand up. Wave. Good. Guess how you got in? You got forgave. You didn't get in because you won a game. You got in. You became a Christian because you wasn't worth a dime. I see you looking. My son's pledging one of them little things. He's pledging one of them red and white. What's the red and white, y'all? Well, help me. He putting copper the red and white. And he's got to get in because he's got to do some good stuff to get in. So he didn't build his resume up, making sure his grades are straight. I said, well, you should have did that at the other school if I'd have known you'd have did this hard. But they're going to allow him to get in only if he meets certain criteria. Are you with me? I got any other AKA something in here? Okay, let me help you. Some of y'all got jobs. Let me tell you why you got the job. Because you met certain criteria. Is that right? Some of y'all got married to people because they met certain criteria. Now, they might not meet it now, but at least when you met them, they did. But God said, when I met you, you didn't meet none of my criteria. When I decided to make you a part of my family, there was nothing on my list that you could do for me. Matter of fact, when you tried to do good, your righteousness was filthy. So the only way I could get you in was for me to accept you like you were. Dirty, dingy, and nasty. Okay, how might I make this thing plain? Okay, I got it now. Okay. I remember when I was on the road and Junie was small. And that's, you had to take every date came down the pipe because diapers and Similac cost a lot of money. So when I came home and I missed him, he ran up to me and Eb said, don't pick him up. His diapers are stinky. That's what she said to me. But because I missed him so much, I didn't care nothing about the stinky diaper. I picked him up just like he was because I loved him and missed him so much. I didn't need her to change his diaper for me to love. Oh, y'all missed it here. God says, I didn't need to change your diaper. I picked your life up while it was raggedy. Hello? And so since I've done that for you, I'm expecting you to be that forgiving or peacemaker or have the spirit of reconciliation. Help me now tonight. Watch this. Meaning, how come if we have the Holy Spirit, right, and we've all been forgiven, how come we can't get in a room and figure it out? You got people in the Middle East who hate each other that will get together for some oil. But you got folk who Christians that refuse to get together and don't even remember what happened. And God says your Christianity depends on your ability to have peace with your brother and sister. Are you with me here? And some of us have these dysfunctional family situations because you're just too judgmental. That's why nobody want to be around you. You're self-righteous. I don't believe. I just can't stay around them. They just so worldly. Oh, be quiet. You was just as worldly as them. Let me stop. Sometimes you still just as worldly as them. Right? Right? So we just have to remember that we got in through forgiveness. Right? None of us got in. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 5. Y'all looking at me strange. Go up to 17. So if anyone is in Christ, theirs is a new creature. You with me? Everything old has passed away, and see, everything has become new. All this is from Chad. Is that what it says? No. All this newness is from God. You see that? Meaning, you don't have anything to do with the new life you got. Who, watch this, who reconciled, oh, this is wonderful to me, us to him. We were wrong, but he did the chasing. We wasn't worth nothing, but he kept coming after us. Now, y'all know I'm telling the truth here. Now, y'all can testify to this. Y'all can testify to this. That the day you got saved wasn't the first time Jesus tried to get you. The day you walked down the aisle was not the first time that Jesus tried to get you to come. And aren't you glad that he didn't leave you alone when you said no to him? Come on, y'all. I'm so glad when it come to me and my wife, she said no the first time. But sometimes you got to be persistent. And Jesus said, I had to be persistent with you to get you to go out on a date with me. And the funny thing about it, all my friends was the angels was like, why you want to date them anyway? But Jesus kept pursuing us. And some of us tried to run from God, and then God had to mess up our situation. Messed up this, messed up that, messed up that, messed up that. And just when you thought he would leave you alone, he wouldn't stop. Is that right? And God said, I loved you so much that even when you kept telling me no, 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 I still kept pursuing you because I would not rest until I reconciled you to me. Even though you can't do nothing for me. Huh? I pursued you and you have nothing to offer me that I can't give myself. Nobody goes after nobody they can't do nothing for. I didn't go after Ebony just to go after Ebony. I like the way she looked. Help me here. Hello, this wasn't no mission, a mission trip to win. No, I like what I saw. Help me here. But God says, when I came after you, you couldn't add anything to me, and you had the nerve to tell me no. Huh? I kept coming up to you. Can we have this dance? You said no. And I looked at you like ain't nobody else gonna ask you. But I kept on coming because that's how much you meant to me. Are you with me? So if I did all that for you, how come you don't go out your way to reconcile with people the same way I went out my way to reconcile with you? Are you with me here? Sometimes you can't reconcile in no one conversation. That don't mean you stop trying to reconcile. That means you got to try it again. Are you with me here? Watch it now. Let's keep going. Go to John 15. Well, then how will I be able to accomplish this? It's only one way we can live to seek peace with others while we got this flesh. Verse 4. Abide in me as I abide in you, right? Just as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you what? Abide in who? Me. Meaning that for me to be a peacemaker, I've got to make sure that my relationship with God is right. Because, no, I'm serious. Because if me and God get cold, I can't love somebody that hate me in my own strength. I can't do that. I don't have that ability. Asking me to love somebody that hate me without God is like asking me to be 7'1". I can't do it. But with God, divine enablement, I can turn the other cheek. Are you with me here? But without God, I can't do it. You say, are you with me here? And you can tell where you are with God by how you treat people and what you can put up with. When you are not as spirit-filled as you should be, you got a low tolerance for people. Y'all quiet tonight. When you ain't spirit-filled, it's only so much you can take. The littlest things start irritating you. Here you go. I just can't stand the way she chewed that darn bubble gum. She popped that bubble gum one more time. I swear for God, I'm going to pop upside her head. Ain't that the truth? When you ain't spirit filled, somebody will walk by you, clickety clack, you say, girl, if you don't take them shoes off, you're getting my darn nerves up in here. And you know when your marriage ain't spirit filled, you'll get in an argument over a toothpaste. And don't let the toilet seat be. Come on, help me here. Woo, I'm tired of you. Oh, calm down. But God says if you're going to be a peacemaker, especially with folk that don't like you, you got to continually be connected to me. The problem is we try to live Christian life without being connected to Christ. And the problem is you come to church and your services be disconnected. Because walking with God consistently, here it is now, I'm glad we're in Lent, March 1, first day of Lent, you've got to make room for God. I hear somebody say, I ain't got enough time in my schedule for God. You know what, I ate 3 times a day and I didn't put near time on the schedule, but I made room for it. I didn't have on my calendar, I'm going to eat Chick-fil-A at 11. No, I had none on the calendar. But I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and going to have a little snack when I get home. Because when you want something, you'll find a way to get it on the calendar. Come on, talk back to me here. And God says, if you love me enough, you'll start making room for me and make sure our relationship is hot. Because you can be with God, but your relationship's not hot. Y'all quiet. Come on, help me here. You know when your relationship's hot with God, and you know when it's cold with God. Come on, help me here. And just because you lift your hands don't mean your relationship is hot. Because I've been in services where I lifted my hands so the preacher wouldn't know he talking about me. I say, praise the Lord, everybody. But I've got to, and this the killer. Just because you did your devotion Monday and you hot on Monday, you can get cold on Thursday. Because you got to constantly stay connected with him. You know why you got to constantly stay connected to him? Because Satan is constantly trying to disconnect you from him. Ain't I telling the truth? All throughout the day, there's either two things happening in your life. Either you're walking with God or somebody's trying to walk you out of God. And if you ain't careful enough, you'll become cold and then you'll black out on somebody. Come on, talk to me here. And as we come into the season of Lent, make room for God. Make room for the serious divine relationship with God. That's what I prayed this prayer. Lord, I want to, Lord, just be with me. Because Lord, if you ain't with me, oh Lord. My wife told me the other day, you going to church this Sunday because I don't like you missed 2 weeks. I said, but what if I'm sick? Well, we're going to roll you in a wheelchair. I text Craig. I said, Craig, I need to hit a praise and worship team this week. My attitude getting starting to get a little short. Ebony, where my orange juice with ice at? Now I'm tired now. She said, hey, who you talking to? She went to this. I said, oh Lord, I'm a little low. I'm a little low. Y'all quiet. Come on, man. Don't come on. You know when you miss a couple of weeks off your medication, church, for some of us, church is our medication. Let me say for me, church is my medication. I don't come to church because I want to come. I come because I need to come. Because if I don't get a dose of God, Lord have mercy. And I need it daily. You ever read the thing that says, take it daily? And if you miss one, it messes up the whole. Sometimes if you miss one good week, come on, help me here. You be trying like, how did I go back to feeling that way? It only takes one mess up to destroy the whole rhythm. Look at your neighbor and say, stay connected to the vine. Stay connected to the vine. And if you abide in him, that's the only way we can do this. That's the only way. Listen, somebody keep calling me. Oh, yes, this is terrible. What we going to do? This boy's crazy. This president. I said, listen, we need Jesus. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm abiding in the vine. Howard Thurman suggests that if you abide in the vine, pain then becomes your friend. End quote. Meaning that the pain of the world, when you abide in God, sends you closer to God. So what the enemy thought would detach you from him ends up bringing you closer to him. Y'all not going to help me tonight. Is there anybody here that can testify that the reason why you worship the way you worship is because of how hard it could be sometimes, and so you give him the praise so that you can keep your mind, in perfect peace. Are you with me here? So we got to stay connected. Now, so we got to accept the responsibility of being a peacemaker. Romans 12:18. If it's possible, as much as it depends on who? You. This is tough. I wish God would have said, as much as it depends on me, live peaceable with each other. No, you do it. Because this is what we say. I'm just going to wait till God bring. No, God said no. I said, ain't what I told you to do. God said, if somebody offend you, fix it now. The Bible even said, don't even let the sun go down on what? Fix it now. Well, I'm just waiting for the Lord to give me the right time. You don't wait for the Lord to give you the right time to gossip. I wish the same way we would apply to God, we would apply to when we do something wrong. I'm just waiting on the right time to God to do this. Well, I'm just going to wait on the right time. No, when you do something wrong, all times are the right time. So God's saying, listen, you as the mature Christian, take the initiative. Now here's the issue. When you're a peacemaker, it's not about right or wrong. It ain't about proving your point. Because some of us just want to prove a point. No, it ain't the issue. The issue is reconciliation. And sometimes you'll walk away and say, I'm sorry for something you ain't even did. I was walking through the halls of Sharon when I used to walk through the halls of Sharon, and this lady came up. I'm tired of the security ministry, Pastor Henson, and you need to, you need to. Now, I ain't got nothing to do with the security ministry. That's somebody else's responsibility. I ain't got nothing to do with security. I got the music, the youth, and the drama. I ain't got nothing to do with security. And she laid into me, you ought to know better. Well, to her defense, they did tow their car the week before, but that's another conversation. And so she is letting me have it. And in my peripheral is the guy who's over the ministry. And he's keeping letting me have it. That's a whole other conversation. But I realized this woman didn't want to hear me deflect. If I would have said that ain't my responsibility, she said, well, she came right back at me. Well, it need to be, you know. I said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I blew that one. Can you give me an opportunity to get it right? Please, I'll go to Bishop, we fix that. No, Pastor, I just want to let you know, no problem, babe. That's it. I didn't do that. But her Christian faith was messed up. Now, I could have walked away with been right, but she wouldn't have had a good worship in church. Are you with me here? So sometimes taking the low is the best thing for the outcome. Are you with me here? And any of y'all been married any length of time, you know I'm telling the truth. Come on, guys. I know sometimes I just say, baby, I'm sorry. She said, you don't even know what you're sorry for. I really don't, baby, but I'm sorry. Can we just get along? I don't know what it is. What you want, trash? What? Talk to me. Sometimes you do the same to me, baby. I'm sorry, I don't know that. Because you don't even care about winning the argument as much as you wanting the relationship restored. If you got to win all the arguments, you're going to have no friends. Are you with me? Let's keep going. Let's keep tracking. All right. This means the root to, watch this, quarrels is pride. That means the real reason why I won't reconcile is I got pride. And all of us got it, not just me. I got, it's hard to make that first move. I mean, even people you love, it's hard to. And then this is what Satan say to you. Satan say stuff like, see, I'm always apologize. They think I'm weak. So you just say, you just keep quiet. I ain't saying nothing this time. I'm going to win this argument. Sometimes you lose so many arguments, you just like, I just want to text my wife, let me get this one, babe. I need this one. I need this one, man. I need a victory for me. Give me this victory. I need a victory. I see parents, all the time. I say, my friend Tyler, I said, go get your daughter, man. We figure the rest out later. The who's, the rights, the wrongs, all that, we get all that later. My daughter issue coming, but baby, we figured all the rights and wrongs. Just get your butt over here and hug me. I love you. We fix this, but not right now. I want us restored right now. I love you. Huh? When that becomes, okay, let me give you some Bible. Everybody talks about how bad Judas was, but Peter was just as bad. In my theological opinion. Judas betrayed him, but so did Peter. And Peter betrayed him 3 times, didn't he? Peter even went so far as to say, I never even knew the man. Ain't that what he said? Now, 2 chapters before, remember he said, wherever you go, I'll die for you. I'll be a ride or die disciple. Ain't that what he said? And in 2 chapters, the ride or die disciple said, I have never met Jesus one day in my life. Can I throw this in here parenthetically? Don't be surprised who turned their back on you when the heat get up, because everybody can't handle a fight. Are you with me here? So to me, if anybody needs to be disqualified, it's Peter. Because now you got to think, right before Peter, he gonna cut the man ear off. So I know you got a little heart, Peter, but now when we need you to be tough, you talking about, I ain't never seen Jesus for a day in my life. Who is the man y'all talking about? So if now you understand, I'm glad I'm not the Lord. Because when I came back from the dead, I said, let me go get that Peter for me. I want to go holler at him. Don't look at me like I'm the only, so would you. So let me show her. And you said, so you going to deny me in front of all them people? I told you I was going to rise from the dead. That's now what you're looking at now, boy. Now get out of my gang. You grow. Be out. But find me a new Peter. I ain't like you no way, because you know when somebody do us, we ain't like it. You know, we ain't. We get like little kids. You going to break up with me first. I break up with you first. That's not what he said. He said, Peter, do you love me? Huh? Peter. I know. He didn't even say why you did it. He didn't even say what he did. He just said, Peter, do you love me? Lord, you know I do. He first started off with the lower level of love. Didn't feed my sheep. If that wasn't enough, once he come back and say, Peter. Notice Jesus never asked questions that he needs an answer for. He always asks questions so that you can know the answer. Great teachers, and Pave can testify, can get you to your answer by questions. Peter, do you phileo me? Yes, Pastor. Yes, I do, Jesus. Why was he asking him 3 times? Because he wanted to let Peter know that even though you betrayed me, you still love me. And I'm committed to bring out the best in you, even though you left me at the worst time. Woo! Can we be honest tonight? Can we be truthful tonight? My love for God is not just because he saved me. My love for God because he had patience with me after he saved me. My love for God is not because I was sinking deep in sin, and I was. My love for him is after he restored me, I did something stupid, and he said, Chad, do you love me? When he had every right to discard me, instead of him judging me, he said, get over here and give me a hug. Because you know why? Love corrects quicker. Are you with me here? And God says, if I can have patience with you, long suffering with you, grace with you, how come you so short when it comes to everybody else? And you know what I noticed? The people who've been forgiven the most can be the most judgmental. Have you ever seen people like that? They just so judgmental. Okay, let's keep going. So now, oh Lord, okay. Okay, now we're going to have some biblical, just to give you some quick principles. Somebody go to James 1:19. Read that scripture for me. See that? First thing, if you're going to be a peacemaker, you got to be quick to listen. You ever try to talk to somebody that they all do all the talking and you just can't get a word in edgewise? One of the most powerful strengths in a relation, this is a psychological study, you can really learn from this, is the power of listening. They talk about how listening can create healing because people need to be heard. The reason why some of us can't get reconciled in our relationships, we too much talking. My wife got to remind me all the time, now you preach at the church, I don't need you to come here and give me no sermon. Thank you. Now, why you ain't saying nothing? Now you thank you. Who you talking? You talking about me or D? Who you talking? So sometimes I'm just, she'll say, well, I had a bad day, and I just go in overdrive. But 1 Corinthians says, ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? She looking at me like, what's wrong with you, man? Just listen. Listen is such a powerful tool. And now I didn't say be quiet, because we can be quiet and not listen. Ain't what I said. Because some must be listening, we be doing this. And hear me, because I'm good at this. You got a photographic memory, so you know how to repeat back everything they say. And I'm listening. You said that no. You can recite it, but you ain't feel it. So don't go there and recite stuff. I know that, yeah, you said on Tuesday this happened. No. Put the phone down and listen. They say marriages reach emotional cutoff because first somebody stops listening. Are you with me here? So if I want to reconcile with somebody, watch this. You can't say stuff like, people say to me, you say, you really hurt me. You really offended me. And this is what they say. I ain't do nothing to hurt you. How you going to tell me how I feel? How you going to tell me how I feel? I'm not saying. And because we're so defensive. So we rather defend instead of just listen. Does that make sense? All right, let's keep going. Right? Don't begin the sentence. Y'all read this later. Proverbs 12, gotta go. Don't begin sentences with you. You. Here you go reconcile. And here's how you start your sentence. You, Parker. No, that's it. It's a wrap. Parker done with me. He's done. I ain't gonna say nothing else to get nothing done out of him. As soon as I say, see, and you always, and this is what we say all the time. Don't we do this? Don't we do all this? You always. Always? So you mean every day I do this to you? Listen to me, y'all. Words matter. And how you use them matter. All right, so we're going to listen. Number 3. Go to this one. You got to read Proverbs 16:24. See? Read it for me. Sweet words, meaning, look for the words. Look for what. Don't look at what people say. Look for what's behind what they say. Don't. See, people can say one thing, but there's something behind it. Pastor, you really hurt me when you didn't speak to me, and something behind that. So I can say, okay, I'm sorry. I'm listening to find out really what's hurting you. And just listening, and I'm listening to give words to be pleasant, to sway you back to where God would have you. Does that make sense what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going. Now, so I'm listening without correcting. I'm not beginning a sentence with you. I'm looking for the hurts behind the words. Now, why? If you're able to do this, Matthew 17 says you will be blessed. Let's go to Matthew 7:20. Are you there? 19 and 20. No, go to 18. Go 18 through 20. You there? We know you by your fruit, meaning if you're bearing good fruit, that's meaning you're blessed. If you're able to produce peace, that means because it's a peacemaker in you. And that in itself defines the blessing. And because of that, you'll develop godly traits. Okay? Last but not least, James 3:18. Then we're done. That sounds like rain, don't it? Oh, praise the Lord. That scared me there. I said, Lord have mercy. I started rushing. I heard that. Lord have mercy. Meaning when you sow peace, I'm in on this. Peace will always be your way. Can I prove my point? I'm done. Theologically, I'm proving I'm done. David made some mistakes, but he did a few things he did right. Don't you remember when he could have killed Saul the first time? You remember? David said, I'm not going to touch the anointed. That's the first time. Second time, remember? He could have killed Saul 3 times. But on 3 occasions, he gave Saul peace. Is that the truth? And because of that, God allowed him to die of old age. All the wars that David fought, he ain't died of a sword. He died of an old age. And this is how they knew he was old, was going to die. They threw a woman in there. That's the Bible, I ain't lying. And when David didn't react to the woman, they said, oh, he gone now. That's true, I ain't lying, I ain't making it up. That's the Bible, I ain't making that up. Meaning that the peace you give to others, God will make sure it come back to you. Because the old folks say it like this: you can't be God-given, no matter how you try. The more you give, the more he gives to you. So just keep on giving, because he'll see you through. So meaning, don't give and stop because the person you give don't give you the response. Because the response I'm looking for ain't coming from you. I don't want you, come on here, help me, I'm done tonight. I don't want you to repay me because you don't pay like God. I do to you because God knows how to hook a brother up. And when God hook a brother up, he give you peace right in the worst of times. Am I right about it? Come on, let's give God praise for we're peacemakers tonight. All right. Any announcements? We good? Let's rest on our feet. All right, we got one last Beatitude next Wednesday, and then we're starting our Lent season. All right, so we got one more Beatitude next week. Then we go, remember what I told you, whenever we switch a series, we have a night of prayer. You remember that? So we have Beatitude next week. The 15th, I think, is a Wednesday, am I right? Huh? That'll be our night of prayer. And then we're going to switch to our series on the cross. All right, as we get ready for the resurrection season. So please, let's everybody be here next week so we can finish out strong and do what the Lord calls us to do. Father, we